A warm welcome everyone, thank you for dropping by. My name is Nick, so let's kick this thing off as we look at the last 2 weeks of gaming reviews and try and put these games in some sort of a semblance of order. Okay, so we'll go a bit quicker, or at least try to. It doesn't always work. A couple of games that didn't quite make the top 6 this time around, 2 of them in fact. In no particular order, the first one was International Speedway on the ZX Spectrum 48K, published by Silverbird Software in 1988. Now, if you've already watched this review, you probably expected this to be here. It's a motorbiking game, and it's ridiculously slow. You go through a championship, it's ridiculously slow, and you must finish in the top 3, it's ridiculously slow, and get to the next race. Every track's exactly the same, there doesn't seem to be much skill involved, and it's very, very poor. Let's not give it any more airtime. Silverbird Software, which was later to become Firebird Software. And then the other game that didn't quite make it was a poor pinball game on the Commodore Amiga, Time Scanner by Activision in 1989. Now, when you look at pinball games on the Amiga, you have to compare it with Pinball Dreams, Pinball Fantasies and Pinball Illusions, that series there. And the important thing with pinball games is the ball physics and how playable the game is. It's an arcade conversion, but this does not work. The ball physics are everywhere. Sometimes the ball floats, sometimes it bounces off at an unusual angle. It's set through different time periods, so for getting the ball up one alley, you can go to another table, which is fine, but it takes so long to load. The arcade machine is a little bit quicker than this, and it just doesn't work. So avoid those 2 games. We won't spend too much time on that. And before we hit the top 6, let's quickly cover the PlayStation 4 pinball games, because there's always Pinball Thursday. Eventually we'll run out of pinball tables to review, but it's been going for almost 2 years now, and there's still loads to do. Okay, so both of these are Zen Studios in 2014. It's El Dorado, one of the classic pack tables where you get 3 other tables as well, Tesla, the Shaman and V12. This is set in a jungle forest. If you know about El Dorado, it's the lost city of gold. Numerous targets to hit, as you would imagine in such a game. It looks quite nice. It's not as advanced as some of the future Zen Pinball 2 tables where you've got characters walking around the table. But what it attempts to do, it does quite well, and you're going to get a lot of value for money in this pack. Out of the 4, my favourite is Tesla, which you've already reviewed, although it's a little bit tricky. This one's quite easy to get into. The player modes are quite simple. And the other table, the last of the 4 in this Classics pack, was V12. Quite basic, but graphically again it looks quite good. It's set round a motor theme in a garage where going up ramps, various spinners. It's all based around different parts of an engine. Now, I'm not a mechanical guy myself, but you don't need to be to play this game. It's pinball action. If you like Zen Pinball 2 or pinball in general and you just can't get enough tables, of which there are now hundreds, then this is well worth a download as well. You can get it nice and cheap. Okay, top 6 time. You might disagree with this order, if so then put it below, because it's all about nostalgia as well. In 6th place, on the Game Boy Advance, is MATCHBOX Crosstown Heroes by THQ in 2002. I'd have to say this game is aimed at younger players. When I picked it for a review, I didn't know too much about the game. I thought it was going to be like Hot Wheels, where it's like a circuit racing, but it wasn't. But that doesn't detract from it. I've got it in 6 because of my age, really. It's okay, there's no time limit on the game, it's a bit of grinding, but basically you must control a fire engine and put out fires in a fictional town full of clowns for some reason, and rescue dogs. If you do that, there's a couple of mini games where you must put out other fires, collect fireworks, rescue people from buildings, but they're always clowns and they throw pies at you for some reason. If you get around once, you upgrade your car and you've got a different vehicle, and then you have to do the whole thing again. So young players, it'll give them something to do if they was in the car on a long journey, but as I say, in 6th place. In 5th place, I like this game, but I've got to put it in 5th just because how basic it is. But It's on the ZX Spectrum 48K, Connect 4 by Atlantis Software in 1984. Now, there's been a few conversions of Connect 4 on the ZX Spectrum, but for my money, this one is the best. It's got basic sounds, the load times when the opponent is thinking of their move, the computer, it doesn't take too long, while the others do take fractionally longer. It's good intelligence, and it could give you a good test of Connect 4. As someone commented on the comments, which is quite true, I agree. With board games, what's the point of playing them on the computer? It's all about interaction with your family and friends. Well, yeah, that is true. But the ZX Spectrum attempted pretty much everything, so it's good to have that. Connect 4, would have had it higher up really, but I can't with a straight face because it's a bit like a type-in program, but a little bit more advanced than that. And that was from 1984. 3 difficulty levels. Yeah, I did first and second, but there'll be a lot of draws once you get used to it. And in 4th place, on the Commodore Amiga, is Navy SEALs by Ocean in 1990. Come out on a few formats. I think it's based on a film of some description. I didn't get off stage 1 during the gameplay. It plays okay, but it could have been a lot better. It's a platformer game where you control this Navy SEAL that's going around some sort of Arab territory, and missiles have been stolen. You've got to find each one and disarm them before the time runs out, while Arabs are shooting at you at various positions. That's about it really. I've been told it plays better on the 8-bit systems, most particularly the Commodore 64. I didn't own a Commodore 64, so I have got it penciled in to play on the ZX Spectrum to see how different it may be. So in 6th place is Matchbox Crosstown Heroes on the Game Boy Advance by THQ in 2002. In 5th place, Connect 4 on the ZX Spectrum 48K, published by Atlantis Software in 1984. Matchbox Heroes of 2002, in case I mucked that up. And in 4th place is Navy SEALs by Ocean in 1990. Now, before we come to the top 3, fans of the Mega Drive would have noticed, or people who watch the channel, I know some people watch some videos, some people watch hardly any, but watchers of the channel may be aware that we're looking through the SEGA Mega Drive Ultimate Collection, which come out on the PlayStation 3 in 2009. About 40 games on that, and we're gradually going through, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. I didn't own these back in the day, so sometimes my gameplay may be rubbish. Yeah, more rubbish than normal, and more, and yeah, no truer word can be said in this first one. Is Altered Beast. It's trying to emulate the Mega Drive Ultimate Collection, well, Mega Drive games, and this time I've worked out how to do full screen on it. So you see it in all full screen glory, but basically Zeus has resurrected Yule to rescue his daughter Athena from some deadly despot bad guy. By getting upgrades and killing people, you can turn into a wolf with special powers. Like a lot of these games on the Mega Drive Ultimate Collection, it's much easier on 2-player, but as I always say, I'm the only player here. The other one we looked at was the sequel to Golden Axe. What's it called? Golden Axe 2. Well done those people that got it. So once again, the fantasy territory has been invaded, and you controlling either 1 or 3 characters, Axe Battler, Tyrus Flare, or the Gilius Thunderhead, must go into battle and kill everyone. It plays similar to the first game. I prefer the first game. There are a few tweaks. Your energy release of magic is now on a meter bar, so you determine how much magic you use, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. And the pixies that you normally hit to collect potions are now more bigger elves. And that's about it really, but it plays well, some good lava scenes. I could fully recommend a Golden Axe 2. Right, okie dokie. Are we going quicker or are we going slower? I can't tell. But anyway, in 3rd place then, top 3 territory. On the ZX Spectrum 48K, another arcade conversion. It was Tapper by US Gold from 1985. Now, I'm normally worried about US Gold conversions more than with the Amiga than the Spectrum, because quite often they come out terrible. But this isn't too bad, this one. You play the role of a barman. You've got 4 bars per each pub, or if you like, and clientele will come in. You've got to serve them before they get to the end of the bar and chuck you across it. Sometimes once they finish the drinking, they'll slide their glasses towards you and you must pick them up so they don't smash. If any of those things happen, you lose a life. As soon as you serve everyone, then you go on to the next bar. easier said than done. I got to the second one in the review, but the last bar at the end which you want to get to is the space bar. Very frustrating sometimes, but it keeps wanting you to come back. There is a mini game every so often where you must guess what is the correct glass. Basically, it's that game where they move the cups around and you have to guess where it's actually gone, so keep your eye on it. I was like semi-successful with that one. So that was Tapper in third place. And in second place this time, it's a remake of an old classic Amiga game. It was SPEEDBALL 2 Evolution by Tower Studios in 2011. The Amiga game was by Bitmap Brothers in 1990. There's been a few attempts to remake that since, but I don't think any of them have been that good. This one is quite good. I like this one. It's not perfect. It's taken a lot of the sound of the original game, but there's more teams, a more active transfer market. The gameplay is quite similar, although one of my criticisms of it really is it's too easy to injure opposing players and your players get injured, so the gameplay breaks up quite a lot, and then it turns out really, instead of how it should be, the person that gets the most goals wins, it's the person that's injured the most of other players. Now, I've only played a few games on it, so whether that changes as you advance through and upgrade your teams, I don't know. But there are different arenas, which is a nice touch, and you can play up to 10 seasons. Now, what the longevity is on this, I don't know, because you're probably going to max your team after about 3 seasons, maybe quicker, and then you might be able to thrash everyone. Super Nash one are there, but I haven't got up to them as of yet. They was a top in the original game. The first game, as we said, is a little bit more grittier, a little bit more real, but this is good. I've got it on the PS Vita and the PlayStation 3. It works better with a controller. I did have it a long time ago on my phone, and I don't think the control mechanism worked quite as well as a handheld controller or a Vita. Still good, but controller's better for my money. And in first place this time round, might surprise a few people that it beat SPEEDBALL 2, but SPEEDBALL 2 was great but a little bit flawed. It's on the ZX Spectrum 48K, a classic retro shooter. It's a CRESTA by Incentive Software in 1985. Now this is retro glory. It's pretty basic, 8-bit. You control a craft going through space. It's a vertical scrolling shooter. And what's good about this game is there's so much things moving on screen at the same time for 48K, and I love it when that happens. They've been less fussy with the background, so you don't get confused where you are, what's shooting at you. It's just a star field, and it's a very attractive star field. Every so often there'll be a mini game where you must assemble a bit more of the ship in a docking process. If you dock that a number of times, you get the full ship with upgraded weapons. A really cool game. If you've got a ZX Spectrum or an emulator, I really recommend CRESTA from 1985. There is a sequel called CRESTA, which I'm sure we'll come to at some point. So, in third place was Tapper on the ZX Spectrum by US Gold in 1985. In second place, SPEEDBALL 2 Evolution by Tower Studios in 2011 on the PlayStation 3. And in the top spot this time was CRESTA on the ZX Spectrum 48K again by Incentive Software in 1985. So thanks for watching the videos as always. I'm always looking to see how I can improve it. I'd like to put more videos up, but time is often an issue. But if you keep watching the videos and keep liking the videos, more importantly, my search value will go up, and then hopefully, you never know, I might be able to do it or cut my hours, but at work I should say. But that's a billion zillion years off at the moment, pie in the sky. But you've got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how are you supposed to have a dream come true? Yeah. And on that note then, take good care of yourself, have a great weekend, and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.